Hello everyone, my dear friends and fellow little boxers. Today we are going to demonstrate some very effective but forgotten old exercises for strengthening the wrists, the shoulders, and the forearms. Just watch and enjoy. Dim, take a look. These specific exercises here, using this piece of equipment, this isn't an adjustable one at all, it is actually a fixed weight. And in the Soviet Union, there was a whole series of them. The weights increased by 2 kilograms each time. There. 2 kilograms, 4, 6, this one is 8 kilograms. This is a more than serious weight. It's not just a piece of gym equipment. In other words, this equipment is really for building strength, because 8 kilograms is already pretty impressive. The first exercises you do are more like physical education exercises. So your task is to lift your arms from this position, bring them up here, and turn them over. And you turn them over and lower them in a controlled way as well. Here, your shoulder gets a really good workout. And this rotational movement is exactly what you need for striking. Now, in much the same way, you have to slowly spread them apart. It's a very challenging exercise. Yes, your arms should be kept strictly straight, just like this, and then spread them to the sides. This is a tough exercise. You see, you need to stretch it all the way to the angle. See, it just won't go. No, you really have to hold it right here, this exact angle. Because very often, the strain during a strike is exactly on the elbow joint. And that's exactly what holds you back. Look, press your elbows right into your body and try to stretch it all the way to the end. Pull it out. That is, twist it with your wrist. No, don't lift this angle. It's going just like that for you. This is also a very tough exercise. Well, with this weight, lift it. So you bend it, that's it. Are you allowed to pull it a little bit toward yourself? This ball itself. Yes, so that it goes just like that, exactly. And don't straighten this part, the elbow stays in place. This is purely for the load. Look, it goes from your pinky. This is the weakest part of the fist. These last 3 fingers, or rather these last 2, very weak. So, since you are doing it for the first time, you should start with the minimum. That means there are some exercises that you can only do 3 or 4 times, but once you have gained some experience, well, no more than 15 times, though 15 times is already like a strong man. So, what is great about these training tools is that they have this useful round section. Additionally, there are a variety of exercises you can perform to improve your finger grip strength and overall hand control. In boxing, there is very serious work on this, specifically the fist. And the muscles that hold the fist get trained very well. 8 kilograms. That's already a lot. So here you do circular movements. The task is simply to hold the weight, and if you manage to make a circle like this, that's already pretty good. Once again, I want to say, despite how it looks, the exercise is very tough. In boxing, specifically, the entire plane is used. All sides. These kettlebells are heavy, yes. They seem like just ordinary equipment, but there are a lot of secret techniques for developing strength. As for the striking part, we will not be demonstrating every single one of the exercises related to physical strengthening and training. Instead, we will show specific striking and hitting drills that are directly more preparatory for the execution of a powerful punch, specifically with a dumbbell. Now keep in mind that these specific exercises are fundamentally based on the principles of geometry. So your primary task here is to extend your reach and to carefully form these specific kinds of movements, basically building directly on this solid foundation. This particular grip, go ahead and let it down for a moment while I explain. This specific grip is actually very good for a very important reason. I am telling you, the people who made these dumbbells might not have been book smart, but they were incredibly clever in their approach. This grip is just like the way a boxer's hands are, because there's a significant difference. When spreading your arms, some people hold them very close together, which is bad. The muscles don't contract well, it's uncomfortable, your shoulder blades go numb. Others, on the contrary, hold them too wide open. Some hold them this way, some that way, whatever feels comfortable for them. But this particular form, when you hold it, it puts you in the right. It guides your hands into the correct position through the tension. There are actually a lot of different ways to practice your various strikes right here. Actually, a lot of these things seem simple, really. However, they specifically lead you directly to the strike. And you will find that the distance between your hands will always be perfectly correct. There must be a certain distance between your hands. First of all, it's this space through which you see your opponent. Secondly, it is about achieving the necessary balance between relaxation and tension, so that your hands are consistently positioned on the lines along which you deliver your strikes. Regardless of how you move, your hands should always maintain roughly the same distance between them. Even when you throw a punch, your hand will automatically return back to the correct position. And the correct position is the defensive position. Now take it just like that, and simply place it right on your hand and try to make a full, complete circle. You should have an extension. Take a look, but the extension should be right at the elbow. Both in one direction and in the other direction. Here, take a look. I'll show you right now. These might seem like very simple exercises, but because of the way the body works, you know, there is a specific kind of tension here that you probably remember. Just lift it a little bit higher. Try to raise this angle slightly. Right there, it should be braced. Now I want you to look to the left, then the right, then left, and right again. No. Just try to hold this specific part so that it doesn't stick to the apparatus. There you go. You see, you put it one way and then move it the other way. It just supports, because otherwise you won't be able to hold it like that. And the tension in the muscles becomes synchronized, meaning it's very appropriate. This is the kind of load we're talking about. It was done both during the warm-up and in the main part. But these are additional exercises for strengthening. So it's not really the basics yet. It's also a very good exercise. But as I said, it's more for those with experience. Look, you start tossing it over. And notice your whole body is working. And you toss it according to the load. So now you understand what this is about. This is the simplest system. Now why don't you try this? It is called juggling. Here you can create many different patterns. You can, yes, just like this and right away. Like this or like this, just however you want to do it. Now this is already a much more advanced exercise. You're not just catching the ball, you're catching the whole thing. Once again, the total weight is 8 kilograms, which is a pretty serious amount of weight. Already, every exercise has a name. This one is called to the elbow, and you must still keep it fixed in place. And then you send it back the other way. Try it in reverse. Just keep trying for now, even though you haven't developed the skill yet, but it works both ways. See? You just need to get used to it. When you are not used to it, and again, if you do not really know the exercise well, you simply won't make any significant progress at all. There's a high risk of injury. But once you understand the exercise, that's when you start making progress. Right now, you're just trying it out. That's the difference, so to speak. It's the same principle, but the grip is different now. Everything that involves tossing or some element of juggling, this is about movement coordination. It's a precise calculation that you make when you launch it. Muscles are key. Obviously, you will need to perform about 30 to 40 repetitions of these specific tossing exercises. And the same goes for the reverse direction. If it goes one way, it also goes the other way for switching grips. Here, you just need this particular grip. In boxing, there are certain punches that you execute using two distinct phases of tension. The first tension occurs right when you start the movement, and then you follow it with a micro phase of relaxation before the strike lands. A relaxation phase to add snap to the movement. So the very first part is the initial impulse that shoots out directly from you. And then the second tension occurs right when you squeeze and accentuate the movement, meaning you effectively catch that motion. So what you get is a powerful explosion, followed by a brief relaxation. And then you apply that tension once again. That's the phase. So it's a micro relaxation that you do, that you just won't feel it like this. You'd need to connect sensors to yourself to really understand it. The moment of speed, it's exactly in that relaxation. If there's tension throughout your hand, the punch will definitely be strong, but not very. So the primary method to produce maximum power is the moment of passing through the speed phase. The more rapidly it moves, the significantly sharper the impact will be. That is exactly why these training drills that boxers do, I'm telling you, they are truly some of the toughest exercises out there. When you hold your hands up like this, it is not really that scary yet, and you can still hit it this way. But when you actually start holding it like this, or even like this, that is when it gets much more scary. Because at this point, your hands are starting to go down. And that's when you really start to feel that pressure building up even more. The tension in your fist, it's incredibly difficult to maintain. And that specific moment of fixation is absolutely vital and extremely important. Of course, they increase the power of the strike and also enhance the muscular component, so to speak. Tension along a single line of direction. It really is such a truly fantastic exercise, and it is remarkably simple to perform, but you just have to maintain throughout the entire movement, well, how should I put it, the exact right angle. Keeping that perfectly straight angle seems like it should be something that is not complicated in the slightest bit. But once again, I'm saying that the grip itself, this positioning, it really activates the muscles here, especially when you're balancing your fist like this. It engages the stabilizing muscles all the way up to the shoulder. It's not that simple at all. Again, I want to emphasize, this is a special exercise. In other words, it was invented by boxers. Well, how should I put it? To enhance things, all the secrets lie in simplicity, and that's where the genius is. It's also a simple system. There's a similar principle with kettlebells, but with dumbbells it's a bit easier. And as they say, it's for the beginner level. You firmly fix one arm in place, and then you move it around like this. Forward and backward. Pull it towards yourself. And from here it reaches full straightening. And the brush, pay attention so that this part works for you. Here it bends well and gives it away as much as possible. Vova, vova, vova. This is what you need. And there is another exercise where you do it in a maximum circle. That is, you have this part pressed, and here you introduce a circle. See, that's what's good about it. This round one, well, obviously when we do it on the mat, it doesn't slide as much. But on the floor, it slides really well. You see, despite how easy it looks, there are certain nuances. You encounter these same nuances in a fight. But here you're building resilience. You're really toughening up. Well, this series of exercises was divided up. That is, there were preparatory exercises of a physical training nature. And there were special exercises already with precise, exact calculation. That's why I asked you what you're trying now. That's why you're trying it. You're already in the process of determining your own personal routine. How many of these specific exercises you will do, that is the first thing to consider. Then, how many repetitions you actually need to achieve your ultimate goal. Because the more you develop the various muscles in your arm, the easier it will be to maneuver and position yourself effectively in a fight. That is to say, the more options you will have, and with these different lines of attack, well, it is simply much easier to strike. I mean, it is really many times easier to strike than when you only punch in one single style, as most traditional boxers typically do in their training. But these lines are very well known, and defenses are designed to counter them, so it's very difficult to get past the guard. But when you start punching from a sharp angle, that's a whole new level of skill. When you slip your hands through, that's it. The defense is completely shut down. And you'll be slipping your hands right into that guard, picking at it, tearing it wide open here and there. That's the true strength of your arms. Because once again, if your arms are weak, you won't have any real punch at all, even if your biomechanics are absolutely perfect. That's the secret to strength. Moreover, these exercises also strengthen your ligaments, sinews, and tendons. In other words, they provide a lot of useful benefits. You see, boys, not knowing any better, start pounding their hands on heavy bags without actually strengthening themselves. But with this kind of strengthening, you'll be able to handle the bag. So when you start hitting the bag, you'll already understand what real hardness is. That's how much these exercises can give you. So Dimka, I want you to train yourself using the classic, old, and proven methods. Because nowadays, all of these trendy new systems are, as a general rule, almost always built on those same old foundations. And unfortunately, people have really started to forget about them. Simple equipment just like this right here. Different weights, they also help, for example, with a light weight, a boxing weight of 2 kilograms. There are also unique exercises with them, specifically for developing striking lines. There are these tiny little nuances that really help to refine things. They fine-tune the stabilization system. So you can do without them, of course, but with them it's cooler, faster, and more effective. So listen, guys, make sure you train properly, and I truly hope that God will grant you all great health and much more strength.